Hello everyone! Welcome to this Sims 3 house design video. So today I'm here in Plymouth Isle building the final house for the world. So if you don't know, Plymouth Isle is my Sims 3 Create a World series. You can check out the series on my channel. And over the past, I guess like 2 years, well, not almost, I guess like a year and I don't know, like 7 months, something like that. I've been working on this world. So yeah, and I've been building the houses for it since like March of 2019. So this is pretty much the last, it is the last house. So yeah, it's the last pre-built house that I'm doing for Plymouth Isle. This house is called Plymouth Mansion. I think that's a pretty fitting title. And it's also the largest, I think, well, I don't know if it's technically the largest, but it's definitely very big. But it's for sure the most expensive house in Plymouth Isle. It ends up coming in at about 557,000 simoleons, I think. That's what I think it is. So yeah, the last house that I did, which was Greenmont, I did that, a little bit earlier in the week. That was, 477,000. That was the most expensive house at that time. So now this one surpasses it a bit. So yeah. Anyway, this house ends up having 8 bedrooms and 7 full bathrooms and 2 half bathrooms. So it's quite large. This is part 1 of 2 parts. So yeah, this is not all in one because it's way too long. It took me 8.5 hours, more than 8.5 hours actually, to build this entire house. It took a long time. It was a big undertaking. And yeah, so this is part 1. Part 2 I plan on having come out the day after this part. So, if you're watching this, anytime, after the day this video is coming out, you can check out part 2 through a link in the description or at the, an end screen card at the end of the video. So yeah, basically this is the final house for the world. I do also want to discuss one other thing. I keep getting this in the comments too. From the past videos, I haven't really been responding to it, mainly because I hadn't been sure exactly what I was going to do. So I've decided not to make pre-made Sims for the world. So after, this house is done, which it is already done, obviously, because I'm making the video on it. But, this house being finished is basically the last step that I have, the last basic thing that I'm doing. So, or I don't know why I said basic thing. It's the last thing that I'm doing. So yeah, I'm not going to make pre-made Sims for a couple reasons. And I was going to make a post. I don't know if I still will, but I was going to make a post I guess on the community tab of my channel, but I just forgot to do it. So I'm talking about it here, but who knows? I may still do that anyway. I don't know. Anyway, in short, there's a couple reasons why I don't want to. One is because I think I looked this up, and basically to create Sims in Create a World, you have to add them in and then modify them. So you can't add in pre-made Sims or Sims that you downloaded from somewhere else or something, or that you made ahead of time. I believe you have to make them in Create a World, which would mean that I'd have to go in and spend all that time putting them together and stuff, which I don't really want to do because creating Sims isn't really my thing. So, I'm more into building and that kind of stuff. So mainly I just don't want to make the Sims, and, doing this whole series is it's been a lot of work. So I'm kind of ready to move on. So essentially I'm just going to release the world just with all the houses and the community lots and everything, but there won't be any pre-made families living in it. So yeah, the main reason is I just don't really want to. It's creating Sims isn't really my thing. And unfortunately, I think with the way Create a World works, you have to have, you have to do it yourself basically in Create a World, with the way that it generates the townies and stuff, the way that you have to get the installed Sims in. But anyway, so, and even if I'm wrong about that, I still don't really want to do it anyway. So yeah, that's, it's just not something I really feel like doing. What was I going to say? I don't know. I have something else I was going to add on and now I can't remember. Oh, right. Yeah. So another thing I also want to talk about is, it's I already feel this question coming up maybe in response to what I just said is, if any of you create, your own families and stuff, and you have a save game file and you want to share that, I'm fine with you, sharing a save game file with all the families you created, in it. I just ask that if you share any save game of Plymouth Isle, that you, along with whatever link you provide to download it, you include credit, that says that intothesimulation created the world and all the pre-built houses, and that you provide a link to my YouTube channel and a link to the original download. So, I'm fine with, you guys sharing the world, if you've made any changes to it or have a save game, but you just have to credit me, and provide a link to my channel and to the original download. So that's all I ask. But yeah, so anyway, basically that's where I stand with the Sims and creating Sims for the world. And yeah, but anyway, also I saw that some people have been asking if I'll make like a let's play or something with the world. Let's plays aren't really my thing, so I'm not going to do that. Once this world is complete, it's kind of going to be it for Plymouth Isle for me. So yeah. And yeah, so after part 2 of this video, because of course there will be a second part coming out where I do a lot of stuff with the house. I mean, of course, in this part, basically I just do the outside stuff and not even all of it. There's still like, some of the backyard stuff is in part 2, some of the landscaping is in part 2, but part 2 is mostly all the furnishing. So I do most of the actual building here in part 1, and I do, most of the furnishing in part 2. I do some furnishing in part 1. But anyway, after this video, I'm basically going to have, a couple more videos, about the world, announcing when it's, all done and all that. And then when the final version is available for download. But yeah, other than that, these are the last few videos for Plymouth Isle. But anyway, I guess we can talk about the house a little bit more. So as you can see, I've already built the house. I actually built this house, referenced from an image I found online. So, I mean, of course, I couldn't keep the house, exactly to the image because The Sims has its own little quirks and stuff. So, especially around the back of the house, it's all very much, just how I wanted to do it. And then also some stuff on the front, all the, colors and stuff, or not colors, but materials are different and the windows are different and all that kind of stuff, obviously, because it's hard to recreate a house quite accurately in The Sims. But yeah, and then on the inside, it's quite a large house. It's only 2 stories above ground with a basement. So that's not, crazy tall or anything, but it's very long. It's a very long house. So yeah, there's a lot of space inside, a lot of rooms. So like I mentioned earlier, there's 8 full bedrooms as opposed to not a full bedroom. Although I guess on the subject of that, there are like 7 real bedrooms, and then the 8th bedroom I use as a nursery and have it kind of attached to the master bedroom. So I guess in that sense, it's not really like a full bedroom, quote unquote. Although you could use it as one if you wished. So yeah, but anyways, 8 bedrooms, 7 full bathrooms, 2 half bathrooms. There's a kind of bonus room in the basement, like with a secondary living room and a like pool table area, bar, etc. And then there's a study on the first floor. There's also a library kind of room on the first floor. So yeah, it is quite an expansive house, lots of rooms and stuff. But yes. Anyway, here I'm just adding the basement in at this point. You can also see that I have a staircase that is, kind of a constrained floor elevation staircase that like goes up halfway. You could turn around the other way, go up the rest of the half, and that sort of thing. There's also a lot of fireplaces in this house. I should have counted this up before I started recording, but I forgot to do that. So I'll try to guess what the number is, but I believe that was one for this room here, and then there's one for the master bedroom, and then there is one for one of the kids' rooms upstairs. There's another one for the other guest room upstairs. There's another one for like a teens room upstairs. It's already 5 fireplaces. And then there's one in the living room. There's one in the library. So we're at 7 now. I think it's 7. The downstairs bedroom has 1 too, so it's 8. I think we're up to 8 fireplaces. We'll see if that's the actual number, but I believe that there's about 8 fireplaces in this house. So, that's pretty crazy. Oh, the dining room, 9. And wait, did I say the master bedroom already? I can't remember if I said the master bedroom already. Okay, 9 fireplaces, I think. Something like that. So, yes, there's a lot of fireplaces. Probably more fireplaces than I've ever put in a house before. So, yes, lots of the rooms in the house have fireplaces. And yeah, there's 7 bedrooms on the second floor. Actually, that's wrong. 6 bedrooms on the second floor. And then basically there's kind of like 2 master bedrooms, which is interesting. There's one on the first floor that's actually larger. And there's one on the second floor that is connected to the nursery, but also has a balcony. So I feel like that kind of makes it fancy too. But I mean, it is a thing that they have sometimes in houses where there will be like 2 different master suites, like one on the first floor, one on the second floor, so people can choose, which one they want as their bedroom. So I guess that's kind of inadvertently what happened with this house. So yeah, there's 2 different options. There's one on the first floor that's bigger, and then one on the second floor that has like the balcony and stuff. Actually, the second floor one I think is a bigger bathroom, but the bedroom is a little bit smaller. So anyway, I thought it was kind of interesting. So there's two different options there. And then in the basement, there's actually another really large bedroom that has an ensuite bathroom as well. But I thought of that one maybe more as like either a guest suite or possibly like if the house has like a like live-in what's the word, housekeeper, that could be like their bedroom downstairs, since it has like a separate entrance as well as like a door that goes outside from that bedroom. And then it's also very spacious, kind of has like a mini like living room area in it, and there's also an ensuite bathroom. So I thought that could be like possibly like a housekeeper or something, like someone who like a live-in housekeeper or something could like live there. I don't know. So that was at least what I was thinking for that. But anyway, yeah, that's kind of an overview of the bedrooms. There's also, of course, out of the bedrooms, I think I make like one of them a kid's room. Of course, I already mentioned the nursery, and then two of them are kind of like teens' rooms. At least that's the idea. So yeah, this house, of course, with 8 bedrooms alone, even with the 7 bedrooms, if you exclude the nursery, that's still, easily enough to have like an 8-sim household living here. It's also interesting because the outside of the house doesn't look like a colossal mansion as much as you'd think maybe, but the inside is very, very large. As I mentioned at the beginning, it took me over 8.5 hours to build this house, which I think honestly that's a record for any video that I've made. House that I've done for a video. So probably, as I'm trying to think of like any, like Riverview Mansion, I don't know how many of you have seen that. That was, when was that? Like 2015 maybe, I think. So yeah, that one was, or maybe that was 2016. I don't know. That was a really, really big house as well. And I think that was also a 2-parter, but I don't believe it was as long as this one still. So yeah. And then, there's other like really big houses that I've done videos on, which usually, of course, end up being 2 parts. But I don't think anything this long. I could be wrong, though. But this one was pretty exceptionally long. It took a very long time to build. So, yeah. And this house is actually, I should have mentioned this near the beginning, but it's also in the description anyway. This house is built for lot number 110 in Plymouth Isle. So, of course, you can download the house separately. There's a link in the description below. So if you want to add it into your own version of Plymouth Isle, you can do that. So yeah, lot 110 here being the kind of, I chose this as the final lot on purpose because, it's really like at the top of the kind of hill. It's like a plateau, if you will, the top of this like hillside overlooking the ocean on 3 different sides. And it's like at the end of a driveway. It's on Hilltop Drive, if that means anything to you. But yeah, this house is kind of more secluded. It's the farthest kind of point from the town center on the main island. So yeah, it is, more secluded, more private, that sort of thing. And also I really like the driveway too. The driveway's pretty cool. It has this circular driveway, more of an oval, I suppose. And I think that's kind of cool. Very, very fancy. But yeah, this is a very, very large house. Of course, you could build something way bigger than this. As you can tell, this is on a 64 by 64 lot, and you can see there's lots of empty space around the house. It does go to show how big of a house you could build if you wanted to. But I didn't want this house to be like ridiculously enormous because I think that it needs to fit proportionally to the island. I think this is kind of like the centerpiece house. Like this is like the aspirational house for the island. It is the most expensive house. I wanted it to kind of be that way. I did do the driveway this way, but I changed it because I didn't like how it looked. It just that didn't look quite right. So I do change that driveway. But yeah, so I wanted this to be like the main house. Like if you do, create Sims and play on this in this world, I wanted this to be like the ultimate house that you could buy. That's like, already included. Of course, the last house I did, Greenmont, has more of a visual presence just because it's so tall. And also it's a really cool location, but it was, it's a slightly less expensive house. And it's also right next to the school, and it's like right near the town center. So not quite as an ideal like private location. So yeah, this house truly is, much more kind of secluded. And I wanted it though to not be like a super crazy mansion because then again, this is a small island, if you're looking at this trying to look at it from a realistic perspective, it's a very, very small island, and there's already, plenty of expensive houses in the world as well, but I didn't want this one to be like ridiculously over the top because I feel like it's kind of too much for the world. I mean, maybe not, but I don't know. I wanted something that was like a little bit more modest is definitely the wrong word considering how large this house is, but something that's not so super over the top. But it's still very fancy. I still want it to be very fancy. So you have the circular driveway, you have like the fountain in the center there. And don't worry, there's gonna be lots more trees even than these that I place around. But yeah, you can also see like the little driveway. I changed it now. It looks quite a bit better now. And yeah, I would have put a front gate in, but unfortunately there's no good 4 wide gates, and the only one that's like appropriate for a driveway is freaking 5 tiles wide, which is really annoying because it doesn't work for a house that has like a 2-block center like this one, and I want it all to be like nicely centered. So unfortunately there's no gate, even though that would be more fitting, but it's okay. I do add a wall and a fence around at least the front yard, not around the backyard, because I mean, let's face it, it's on like a freaking hillside. I don't think anyone's gonna be walking up. I also said freaking twice there, which I don't usually say at all anyway, so I don't know what's happening here, but mixing up a little bit here for the last house build. Yeah, I mean, unless they're gonna scale the hillside or mountainside, cliffside, whatever you want to call it, I feel like it's pretty secluded. It's pretty private, I guess. I don't know why it took me so long to find that word, but anyway, all the windows are kind of in, and I'm looking for a window to go here. I ended up going with those ones, I think, one on each side there. But yeah, I mean, the layout I believe is mostly done. I'm getting in some fireplaces here. So it was, like I mentioned, 9 fireplaces. So a lot of fireplaces, just putting all of those in around the place, and then I have to fix all the chimneys because they all stick up way too high. Very annoying the way that the game does that, but it's fine. You can work around it with a little bit of a constrained floor elevation and move objects. So yeah, I can kind of adjust the chimneys more to what looks appropriate. But essentially here, I'm just doing that kind of stuff, adjusting this chimney around the back here as well. So yeah, just doing that. And one over here, of course, I'm going to fix the brick parts as well. But yeah, just doing that. I mean, this house did take a long time, mainly because a lot of building time. Of course, like I mentioned, most of the floor plan, most of the interior furnishing is done in part 2. I think all that I do in this part, furnishing wise, is the kitchen and the dining room, and maybe some few other small things I don't necessarily finish completely, but yeah. Anyway, right now what's happening here? I think I did the chimneys and stuff. I'm gonna get in some archways and things. So it's kind of a double entrance to the house. So you have like this little like vestibule, and then you go through an archway and you're into the stairwell area. And then there's like a hallway to the right that leads to the dining room, and the living room is to the left. Also, the second floor is like the longest hallway I've ever put in a house. Like, look at that hallway. It's crazy. It's such a long hallway. Like I said, the house is really long. So like the only way to get to all the rooms, especially that back room that's all the way over the garage, that one, yeah, I need a really long hallway to get to that. So you can see here, it's a little kind of funny looking, but it works. So gets the job done. Getting in some beds, some placeholder beds and stuff. This is the balcony for the master suite, which I thought was kind of nice to have because it's, gets that ocean view, a lot of the back of the house gets the ocean view, which is nice. The downstairs bedroom, both of the master bedrooms get the ocean view, whether it's the downstairs one or the upstairs one. The living room, unfortunately, does not, but that's just because it faces the front of the house because that bedroom is behind it. But the dining room gets the ocean view, the kitchen gets the ocean view, and the library gets the ocean view, so that's very nice. And yeah, so right now I am getting in some kitchen stuff here. You can see the kitchen's quite big. It also has a double, oven stove situation there. So it's pretty cool. And then I'm getting in the island in the middle here, of course. So just getting that in, and I got a sink in the center of the island as well. So yeah, very nice. And that way you kind of have this nice entertaining area, I guess. I don't know. The house is meant to be like an old house, obviously. You can probably tell that by just the architecture of the outside. It's meant to be kind of an older house, so it's not got an open floor plan or anything like that. It's more like formal and old-fashioned. So that's why you have like the double entrance way, and then like the living room, dining room, kitchen are all very separate from each other. They're only connected to each other by hallways. So yeah, that's kind of the idea there. The laundry room I thought was kind of cool. It's tucked away like through the staircase to the basement. So you like go through one door and there's the stairs to the basement. There's another door that goes in the laundry room. So that way it's kind of like tucked away and it's not like up front and center. So I thought that was kind of cool. But anyway, here there's lots of bathrooms. I believe a lot of the bedrooms have en suites. I'm trying to think about how many do. I think this one here does, and then the one at the other end of the second floor has one. Both masters do, and then the basement one does. So that's 5 of the bedrooms. 5 out of 8 of the bedrooms have ensuite bathrooms, and then there are 2 other full bathrooms that, you know, kind of serve the other 3 bedrooms. So, you know, there's lots of bathrooms. And then there's a powder room in the basement and a half bathroom on the second floor. So, you know, that kind of, you know, definitely make sure there's plenty of bathrooms in the house, and it's just so many rooms. It just was so much to do. But yeah, here in the basement, I'm getting the layout in. There's also a gym in the basement, which I think I forgot to mention earlier. So yeah, the house does have a home gym as well, which is going to go all the way at the other end of the basement, away from the pool table. And you can see I just put a bed in the basement where that downstairs bedroom is. And what's happening here? So yeah, you can see this is kind of the front entrance. You got these like 8 steps that go up. They're kind of tiered, which I thought was nice. And there's like a little extra balcony or porch, I guess, off of the library there. And the downstairs master bedroom connects to the main outdoor area. Here I'm just extending the wall. I'm going to add a fence around a little bit later. But that's the wall there, the front wall. It kind of goes in an angle around the hill there just because it looked kind of goofy going down the hillside. And yeah, this lot is a 64 by 64. And it's I think in the world, the main 64 by 64 lot that's just straight up ground, because I think all the other ones are like partially in water, because I know that oceanfront house that I built last year, that one is on a 64 by 64 lot, but it's, you know, a lot of it's in the water. And then I think both of the beaches in the world are on 64 by 64 lots, but those are also, you know, half in the water. So yeah, this is the main 64 by 64 lot that is entirely on land. It's not a flat lot, of course. There's like quite a steep hill, especially in the back corner. You know, just along the back, it gets quite steep. But, you know, it's still nice. There's still like a good amount of space in the backyard. You know, definitely a good amount of space for the pool, which is good. So yeah, you have a nice outdoor area there. But anyway, what's happening here? Oh yeah, just doing this bathroom. I don't know why. For some reason, I thought I forgot about it, but I did not forget about it in the count. And then there's the downstairs full bathroom and half bathroom. Just cleaning up under the stairs there. And what's happening here? Some more cleanup and stuff like that. Essentially, there's like a little area there at the top of the stairs. And I also getting some lights in the long hallway there, which is a crazy hallway. But what's happening now? I don't know. I was going to adjust those windows, but I didn't end up doing that. So yeah, this is the downstairs bedroom, very large bedroom. And then that's the library there off the living room. The study is off the dining room in the front of the house. It's a smaller room. It's a little bit more of a private room. Anyway, these windows up here looked kind of silly because they looked just on the side of the roof. I put these walls, but I didn't like cover all of it. So I put blinds on them and that kind of helped. So yeah. But anyway, right now I'm just doing a little adjusting there. So the door to that downstairs bedroom is a little bit more separated from the living room. And then came the challenge of exterior colors and materials. I did have a struggle with this. I wanted to make the house mostly stone, but it just didn't look good. The textures, the way that they have the stone in The Sims 3 just doesn't look good when you plaster it all over the whole house. So I was like, oh, well, what can I do here? I didn't really know. I was trying, but it just kind of all blended together and it just looked very flat. You know, you kind of lost that feeling of, you know, dimension to the front of the house. So I thought I'd try like having something that had like an edge to it, like this one. But of course, then you have to use like the weird like textures that are in creative style, and all of them looked terrible on like such a large scale. So I settled on using some stucco and wood trim to help me out, and I didn't use stone on the whole house. And I was going to use some wood siding, that's a new word, some wood siding on the outside of the house, as well as like a third accent, but I didn't end up liking it, so I just got rid of it. And so, yeah, essentially, I tried this here, and it looked kind of crappy. It just didn't look right on this house. Maybe for more of a modern house, this would work, but it looks really, really gross on this house. So I decided not to use that stone. I was like, oh, I'll mix in with some stucco here, and maybe that'll work. So I tried to do that, and it just looks really blah and not that great. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now here. And I don't know at what point I start changing it up. I think maybe right now. And yeah, I go in with this. This is a good old favorite of mine. This I don't even know what you call it. It's trim, I guess. I really like it. I think it works well. So I went with this, and I just got some stucco with that. And then also I brought the stone back that I was using before, I believe. Actually, no, I used the one from Ambitions, not the one from Pets. So I used that one, which is from Ambitions. It works a bit better. So yeah, and I got that on the lower parts, and then I got the stucco part on the upper parts, like so. And I think that definitely helps a lot and makes it just seem, less just cheap looking. I don't know, the other stone just didn't look very good. So anyway, here I'm just doing that, and I don't keep the crisscrossy bits at the top either. That wasn't something I was a huge fan of. So, but you get the idea. This is kind of the direction it's going, and I think I actually make it a little darker too. I don't keep it the color it is right now, the stucco, I mean. So yeah, anyway, and here's the wood siding was going to come in, but it just looked too busy, so I decided that it was too much to do that, and I got rid of it. But anyway, still working around that. This again, you can see why this house video is so long. Is because I spent a lot of time on just a lot of things. So even things like the outside colors, which usually, is something I always like redo over and over. But yeah, with this house, it took me definitely a lot of time to do. I also used the trim there to make some more interesting stuff happen in the eaves of the roof, as you can see in those, or the gable, I guess, not the eaves, the gable of the roof. I made a little bit nicer, and it's kind of more interesting there with the wood kind of detailing and a little bit less busy than the crisscrosses. But anyway, here I'm just recoloring all the windows and on the front. And of course, I'm going to eventually do that with the whole house, but it's kind of getting in the color that I'm looking for here. And I'm going to recolor, I believe, that stucco because it doesn't look quite right to me yet. So I make it darker, which I think works better for this house. So yeah, and that's the final look for the front anyway. So that's very exciting. We're so I don't even know, over 27 minutes into this house, and we, still working on the outside colors. But yeah, so anyway, here getting some stone around the house, around the back area, getting behind these doors here, and in and around the chimney and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, and just around the back here as well. Getting in the roof areas, a lot of little nooks and crannies here, and just also large spaces that I need to cover, and kind of finish off with the kind of stucco and wood material. Also got some more stone in, of course, but I think less so around the back of the house. It was mostly in the front that I have a lot of the stone. Well, not even that much, but on the first floor mainly. Anyway, here I was considering different colors for the door, but it didn't really work, so I just left it wood in the end. So yeah, but anyway, recoloring more windows and stuff like that. So woohoo, that's fun. And I also get to do all the interior ones too, so that's cool as well. So yeah, just coming through here, doing all of the windows and doors, and coming around the back. Yeah, around the back here. Lots of windows on the garage as well. So yeah, there's also going to be a fun little garden in the back as well, by the pool area. So that'll be nice. You'll see that in part 2, of course, once I get to all that more outdoorsy stuff. But anyway, here, just doing the back. Oh, I did use stone actually for that main portion there. I forgot about that. So I guess there's a lot of stone in the back as well. But yeah, it's kind of getting in just various stuff here. I mean, you already know the drill with what I'm doing. So getting in that stucco and more stone. But yeah, basically that's the whole house is made out of the stone and the stucco. So that's pretty cool. Very simplistic, I guess, in materials. Coming around the back here of the garage and the side of the garage, under the roof of the garage, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, just getting in around here. And I think I do the garage door surround in part 2. But yeah, just getting in all that stuff. And then also the roof eaves here. and what else? Just in more places. But I think that's pretty much all that stuff. And I also got in some more trees and things, I guess, around the front. All very symmetrical still. So keeping it kind of more classy, more classical, if you will. So I don't know, it's not really classical, but whatever. Some more flowers. Yeah, I kept like this center area here symmetrical. And I also got in some heather on the ground there as well. So very cool. Anyway, yeah, so I was considering a gate, but I didn't because there's no gate that like fit that 4 wide gap that would be appropriate for a driveway. So unfortunately it is kind of open, but that's fine, just let the paparazzi pour right in. And there I'm just getting in some bushes and stuff, some flowers and things, all that kind of stuff, just kind of around the front here. I don't know why, I just feel like doing some landscaping right now, so I'm doing it. But of course, a lot of the landscaping happens at the end of part 2 as well, to kind of finish off the whole house and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, essentially just doing all of that, getting in our tree there in the front. And I think that's that for the outside for now. But oh yeah, also actually, look at me, I was wrong. Some outdoor lighting here as well. So just recoloring these lights and kind of coming around the back here, doing some lighting. I just felt like doing that at this point in the process, I suppose. Some lights there at the front, and I also add in some more lights in part 2 as well. So you'll see that, and if you stick around and watch that video when it comes out. But anyway, yeah, so doing the roof there, need that, and also those little trim things, metal things, I don't even know, those little like fencing things at the top. But yeah, so the roof looks better, of course, once I get rid of that orange. And yeah, on the inside, pretty simple stuff. I do some of the flooring. Of course, I'm going to recolor it. I don't know why I put it in before recoloring it, but I did, so there you go. And then the entranceway, yeah, so a lot of the fancy kind of flooring patterns that I like to do with these, nicer houses or older houses. So yeah, and that's the dining room there, of course, which you can see. But anyway, the kitchen is actually the first room that I tackle in this house. It's the first one that I actually finish. So yeah, and here, right now I'm going to do all the doors and stuff inside. But yeah, just recoloring them to be the wood that matches, everything else. So just doing that. Lots of doors though in this house because it is, quite large. So anyway, doing all that. But we should be getting into the kitchen now. So yeah, the kitchen is pretty spacious. It is, of course, separate from the rest of the house. It's an older house. I wanted it to have more of a separated floor plan. But yeah, you can see we have this nice center island. Got marble countertops in the house here. And I think the color scheme is more of like a bluish, greenish color. It's very, very light. Kind of light and airy. And yeah, there's also a door there, of course, that goes right off to the back deck or porch, patio, terrace. I guess we'll call it a terrace. It sounds fancier. The door that goes right onto the terrace, and also that goes right to the pool. So, and also the hot tub. That's cool. So yeah, there's lots of access there right off the kitchen. So yeah, that's the main exit. There's also a door off of off of the downstairs bedroom as well. And there's also one from the library that goes down some stairs, and that goes to the lower area of the backyard. But anywho, right now we're just getting some tiling here. So older looking kind of tiles. That was the goal, getting that in. And also I used some like wood paneling in the areas where it just kind of looked strange to have tile. I just kind of wanted the tile behind the counters. So yeah, I used wood paneling elsewhere. And then I'm going to get in some other things. There's also a food processor there and a microwave. And there's like a little electrical box, also a dishwasher. For some reason, the dishwasher like glitches out the countertop. I was going to put in a trash compactor too, but that also glitched out the countertop and it was just too much for me. So I was like, no. So I put in a normal trash can. But yeah, I don't know what's up with that. It's kind of weird though. There's also like 3 bar stools there. There's also a small dining table in the kitchen as well. So of course, there's options to eat in the kitchen without having to utilize the giant formal dining room. So I thought that was a good thing to have. There is no like breakfast room, which, fancy houses sometimes have a separate dining room that's smaller just for like breakfast or smaller like family meals. But I didn't really have that with this house. Oh yeah, I also used these lights from Pets that look like oven hoods, which I never have used them before. I don't know why, but I use them here. I also pulled them forward a little bit and put these like cabinets from Into the Future behind them because they looked like they were too like close to the wall there to be like a real oven vent. So I pulled them off the wall a little bit. It's a little glitchy, but I feel like it looks more realistic that way. So that's kind of what I did there. But yeah, so that's kind of the oven hood, range hood sort of deal, which is kind of nice. And also it's getting a little bit of art there, I suppose. But for the most part, I think that's the kitchen there. And yeah, all of that I'm going to do that was a really great way to start that sentence. All that I'm going to do in the rest of I started the same way. Anyway, what I'm going to do for the rest of the video is the dining room. Woohoo! I don't know why it's so much trouble just segueing into that. It was really, really sloppy there, but I'm doing the dining room. So that's the last thing in this part. So, there's only a couple more minutes left in this part. So we're going to do the dining room. Of course, I really hope that you check out part 2 as well. There'll be a link in the description to, head over to part 2 once it comes out, which will be the day after this video. So I hope you check that out. Of course, you can download the house. There'll be a link in the description below, although, you don't have to if you don't want to, because the world is coming out, shortly after this video that has, all the houses already included. So yeah, but of course, if you want to add this house into your world, whatever save you already have or whatever, you can. There'll be a link in the description. And it's placed on lot number 110 in Plymouth Isle. So, the last lot, so it's pretty cool. And I did save this house for last because I knew it was going to be the most expensive one in the world, so I thought it was kind of a fitting house to save for the end. But yeah, and also if you enjoyed this video, which is not quite over yet, but if you've been enjoying it, I guess, then I'd really appreciate it if you consider subscribing. And also make sure to subscribe if you want to see when I release the world. Yeah, it'd be cool. But yeah, and as always, I'd love to hear your feedback in the comments below as well. And if you like the video, make sure to give it a like as well. And you can check out all the previous house design videos that I've done for Plymouth Isle. I have a playlist on my channel with all of the videos in them. And if you have not seen my Critter World series for this world, you can check that out as well. I have a Plymouth Isle playlist on my channel that has all of the episodes, all 33 of them. So you can check out all of that if you're interested or if you haven't yet already. So yeah, but essentially in the last minute or so here, I'm going to do the what's it called? The dining room. There it is. And there's one of the 9 fireplaces in this room, which is cool. Yeah, I went for like a dark blue color scheme for the dining room here. So, it's pretty classy, I guess. I don't know. I went with like a lot more darker colors with this house, with the paneling and stuff. I have like green rooms and red rooms, and you'll see that all in the second part as well. But yeah, essentially it's kind of fancy, I guess, with the kind of dark blue. I don't know. I thought it was interesting. So anyway, here, just doing the curtains. That's cool. There's a nice like little couch in this room as well. And yeah, I'm looking for something to go over the fireplace. I think I went with that painting there. And yeah, so very nice. Doing a few small touches in here. So yeah, getting some plants and stuff. I'm also gonna get in a couple of chairs over next to the china cabinet there. But that's gonna be pretty much it for this episode. So I hope to see you in part 2.